Hi there. I'm not going to talk about Hamas. It is well agreed in Israel that they are the one who committed a genocide at the south of Israel and with their own hands. So I'm not going to talk about this. What I am going to talk about is about us, about Israel. And one thing you should know about Israel is today I would say 100% of the people are behind the army and the soldiers and understanding that what happens in south of Israel cannot happen again. This means that Hamas must be removed and Israel must do whatever it must do to remove Hamas. So this is 100% of the people of the population. And then there is another issue, the issue of Netanyahu and his government. After such a massacre, genocide, Netanyahu since then didn't take part even in one funeral. He didn't go to the people themselves who suffered and met them in their places. He didn't. He's the most hated person in Israel. Just to provide some measurement, only 18% of the population in Israel supporting him and thinks that he is not responsible to what happened. Again, responsible, not that he did it himself, but he's responsible as the prime minister, and he, as he said in the past by himself, that the prime minister is the one responsible to the security of the Israeli people. Only that since it happened, again and again and again, he never said that this is his responsibility, and he always ensure that to send the message, someone else is responsible for it. So I want to give you also a glimpse into how I see the genocide of October 7th in the history of Israel. What I see is a period that many Israelis now start seeing that began November 1995, when Prime Minister Rabin was murdered, and until October 7th, when the genocide in south of Israel. And what connect both of those unbelievable events in the history of Israel and the Jewish people, 2,000 or 5,000 years of history, is one person, Netanyahu. Netanyahu was the one that stood behind the vicious attack against Prime Minister Rabin, calling him a Nazi and other things. Eventually, someone else pulled the trigger. He didn't, but he's responsible. And October 7th, again, he took all the battalions, all the army, moved it away from Gaza. So there was hardly any soldiers in the Gaza border. And even when the attack already took place, the ones who protected was not really the army. It was soldiers, it was civilians, but it wasn't the army. He didn't said to the army to go, and it wasn't something organized. It was soldiers, some units, but not the way it should be. So over 20 hours later, only you could see the army and start moving in as an army. And to this day, the government of Israel is still not part of the picture, and whoever is doing things, and a lot is done in Israel today, are civilians and civilians organizations and so on. This is the majority, and until this moment, not even 1 cent was provided to those kibbutzim, while billions are still transferred to coalition parties, most of them, if not many of them, do not go to the army, they do not go to work and other things. So this is what the people of Israel see, and the people find it ridiculous. And how can you go to a war with only 18% thinks that you are not responsible? How can you? How can you go to a war when you don't stand and say precisely what are the goals? And if you say, my goal is to get rid of Hamas, nobody believes Netanyahu because he said it over and over again. But he's the one who gave them money every month, $30 million. He's the one who said, the Palestinian Authority, they are not good, we should support the Hamas. So no one believes him. How can you go to a war? You are not a leader. And this is what the Israeli people are saying. And this is my message to you and also to Israelis. There is no argue between us what we should do in Gaza Strip. The only thing is, don't fool yourself. Everybody outside Israel understands what's going on in Israel, including the Hamas, including the Arabs, including the Iranians. Everybody, just don't close your eyes. Open up. Look in the television. Look at WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, so on. It's everywhere. Now, let's be together. Let's kick the ass of Netanyahu out to where he belongs and have any other person leading us. Bye-bye.